Hello and welcome to another LSJ's Late Review. What a surprise on a week like this that I'm doing Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. No real surprise there. There's a new movie coming out this week that I'm hoping to review. I've already done Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which I will link at the end of this video, just in case you didn't see it. So yes, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is a 1991 comedy. It's directed by Pete Hewitt, and this one's also written by Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon. Those two wrote the first one, and they'll write the third one too, so it's their baby. Now, you can tell that there's a different director with this movie. I'll say that right up front. The directing style is pretty different, and thus I think you get a different result than what you would have had if the previous director was Stephen Herrick. If he was on board, maybe this movie would have turned out a bit different. So it stars Keanu Reeves, of course, Alex Winter, George Carlin, Pam Grier, which that was really nice to see, and we've got, of course, William Sadler. He's a character actor. You've seen him in things before, no doubt about it. This is probably one of his most well-known roles, and you've got an actor that everyone has seen before. His name is Joss Ackland, but I think everyone just refers to Mr. Ackland as diplomatic immunity. Yep, he's that guy, and he's the villain of the movie. Really cool. I totally forgot that Mr. Diplomatic Immunity was in this. For some reason, I have no idea why, I remember seeing Bogus Journey at the movies more vividly than I do remember seeing the previous one, Excellent Adventure. Maybe that's an age thing. You know, what am I, 38 now? Yep, it's my birthday today. So yeah, I would have been pretty young when these films came out. But yeah, for some reason I just remember going to the movies with my dad, buying the tickets for Bogus Journey, and just watching it. There was still scenes that stick out in my head from watching that movie at the cinema. Having said that, I've definitely seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure more times. Probably because in the 2 years since the first one came out and the second one came out, I'd gotten my grubby little fingers on a VHS copy and just watched and rewatched the shit out of Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And by the time Bogus Journey came out on VHS and stuff, I think I watched it, but nowhere near as much. So, whilst when I watched Excellent Adventure, I'd be like, yeah, they're going to tell this joke now. All right, this is a joke they're going to tell now. This is the joke. Oh, cool, I love this bit. I didn't have that with Bogus Journey. It was almost like watching it again for the first time, which is happened a lot with some of these late reviews. So what I think of this one, I know I've rambled on a bit, but what I think of it, I think I would have preferred it if it was directed by Stephen Herrick, who directed the first movie. He would go on to direct quite a few movies that I've seen before. Mr. Pete Hewitt, though, the director of this one, has not done all that much that I think people would have seen, whether they knew it or not. If you've seen a Pete Hewitt film, it's pretty much just this one. That I reckon most people would have seen. Whereas with Stephen Herrick, Don't Tell Him the Babysitter's Dead, Critters, Mr. Holland's Opus, he's done some shit, you know, people have seen. Yeah, and the difference is really noticeable because in number one, I felt it kept a consistent tone throughout. Nice, light, fluffy fun, nothing too serious, but some decent stakes. A good adventure, and a good time. What surprised me about rewatching Bogus Journey is the middle. Doesn't hold up for me. A lot of the jokes don't land as well or have aged as well, and I just don't think it's as good a movie as the original. I will say that when the movie gets the tone of Bill and Ted right, which is at the start of the film and maybe in the last 20-25 minutes. It's wonderful. Those periods go by really fast. They're exciting and they're funny, and they hold up really well. But it's the middle part as they go on their bogus journey that my wife and I just didn't really gel with. We liked everything on Earth. We liked everything with the bad robot usses. So everything on Earth that they did on Earth, we liked. All the supernatural heaven and hell stuff, we didn't like so much. And to be perfectly honest, William Sadler is great as Death, but his lines are awful. He's not that fun. He's not as funny as you remember, and I don't think that's his fault. I think that's some of the script. I also want to ask, why are the princesses different actors? So in 2 years, they're completely different actors now. I'm like, okay, they couldn't get the same princesses, or maybe they didn't want to do another one. I don't know, but that stuck out. It didn't stick out at me at the time. It had been 2 years and all that kind of stuff, but I've watched these back to back and I'm like, why are the princesses different? And they're going to be different in the third one too, so I guess that's a thing now. They're married to the same princesses who are played by different people every movie. So whilst I found Excellent Adventure held up in a lot of ways, didn't take itself too seriously, it was a lot more fun, the tone was lighter, and I felt it held up more, even though I remembered most of the lines of that movie. I was never bored and I was always engaged. I was excited to see the scenes I'd seen before. This one, I was in a bit of a slump, and then by the time they got back to Earth and started doing the concert to save the future or whatever, then the movie became great again. So it's not a complete disaster, but if you want something as good as the original, you're not going to get it. So that means it's going to get a lesser score than An Excellent Adventure, but I'd say if you love the first one, you'll enjoy the second one to some degree. 6 out of 10. I think we all know what my next review is. I can't wait. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming tomorrow or the next day. Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yep, that's what I'll be reviewing next. I am super excited. Beyond belief. So stay tuned for that. Give me a like, dislike, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Let's do the sticky thing. Oh, it's not as good. Bogus.